everybody, Nerdleprobe here. We're here to do another deck tech on another standard deck for the 2015 into the 2016 format. So we're looking today at a card from, we're using a card from the latest Breakthrough set. After a while, the Breakthrough set has not been that overwhelming yet. I think the Mews are definitely better than people expected, or maybe just as much as people expected. I'm not really sure how the hype was about the Mewtwo's, or yeah, the Mewtwo's, but they're definitely looking good from what I've seen. Today we're using a card though that it's called Empoleon, which is a card that has an ability that strengthens your basic Pokemon's attacks with 20 damage. Sorry if you heard the buzzing in the background there. The card itself we don't really use, but it's much like when you put Blastoise onto the bench. So to get this out, we don't use any of the basics or stage 1s. Instead, we're using Archie's Ace in the Hole. So we're discarding the Empoleon into the discard pile, using Archie's Ace to get it back onto the bench. And the Pokemon that we're mainly making stronger with this is actually the seismitoad-ex. Seismitoad-ex is one of those cards, since the laser is rotated out of standard, it's not really a card that people tend to go to because it's kinda, it feels slightly weak when you don't have that extra dot damage with the poison anymore. But with this, you can actually deal 70 damage with your basic attack, which is still not great, but 70 damage for a Seismitoad that also locks your opponent down, it's not all that bad. So to do that, well, of course we use Muscle Bands. And yeah, to discard cards to the discard pile, we'll use 4 Ultra Balls. Of course, we definitely need 4 Ultra Balls in this deck. And 3 Compressors and 4 Acrobikes. Those are the main cards to really try and discard those cards that we don't want to get in our hand. And then we also use a card that has not seen a lot of play from what I know. It's Maintenance. Basically, we shuffle 2 cards back in the deck, we get a random new one. We use this card to get rid of cards that we can't possibly play with the current hand we have. Sometimes you get another card you can't play, but most of the time you will have another Ultra Ball or something in your hand as well. Always use this first if you're planning to use it. It also depends on the situation, of course, but mostly you should use this before you use the Ultra Balls to make sure that you can use everything. So it's a bit of a risky play, but even if you don't get what you need immediately, Seismitoad can still do the lockdown and be fun that way. As you can see, we're also using Miltank. Miltank's attack, the Powerful Friends, is actually buffed by Empoleon on the bench. So it does 80 damage and then 100 damage with Empoleon, and if you put a Muscle Band on it, 120 damage, and that's for one single energy. I put it in there for fun. It's something that I'm thinking about removing because it's not really necessary to do it. If you're doing a lockdown, if you had the option to do either Seismitoad to attack or this one to attack, you would do Seismitoad. Just to get, the lockdown happening. But it can be a nice surprise attack with 120 whenever you need that. We're also using Lugia, just because, especially now when Mewtwo is starting to see play, from what I've noticed, I think Lugia is going to be an important card in the coming format that is happening online, at least. I don't know about the physical card game and how it looks there, but online I think this is definitely a big contender that you need to play right now. What else is there in this deck that is special to this deck? Really, of course we play Regice. Regice is just, if you face off against a deck that only play EXs, and if you get this armed up in with Empoleon on the bench even, they can't do anything about it. Just make sure that you don't play benched Pokemon. If you're doing Resistant Blizzard, if they don't have any other Pokemon but EXs, don't put stuff on your bench. Don't let them Lysander out things to kill. Don't make it hard for yourself. Just keep attacking with this one and win that way. So that's definitely something. If you're thinking about the Shaman count, we're only playing one single Shaman, and that's because we don't often want to draw our hand up to 6 with this deck. Most often we want to discard down so we only have Archie's left, or Archie or some other card in our hand. And Shaman kind of counters that. We can play it in not-jar cards, but of course we're going to play one, because it's such a good card. It's such a strong card that we want to be able to pull it out from the deck when we can, basically, or when we have to, rather. Of course, it can be priced, but then again, we're not really interested in playing Shaman that much with this deck anyway. What else? We're playing Super Odd 1 because I can. Super Odd is back in the standard format. That's a really interesting thing. We might do a podcast covering some of the new cards that have come out, and just to, let you know where they can be used. I'm using one switch as well as 2 float stones instead of... Oh, I should remove the wish list thing there. Instead of 3 float stones, because switch can be used... If you can't play float stone on anything, and if you have arches in your hand, you're kind of like, oh god, I can't get rid of the float stone, but I want to. The switch can be removed even if you know, as long as you have 2 Pokemon in play, so that's why we do that. We're also playing 3 Rough Seas instead of 4. Even 3 is a bit much for a deck that want to use Archies, but because it's so easy to be dead in your hand. But I feel like it's fine. Once again, as long as Seismitoad starts attacking, you have time usually. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this deck. It doesn't feel great yet. I think the Miltank is definitely a wrong, not great for the deck. If you have something else you want to put in there, you can put Articuno in there. Arm that up on the bench while you're using Seismitoad to attack, but you don't play a lot of energies. Something else that you can use is the dinosaur that I don't... Aurorasaurus, is that the name? If you have a water energy on one of your water Pokemon, it takes 20 less damage. It's a stage 1 or stage 2 that you can also use Archies for to get back on the bench. That's something that you could think about, but yeah. I'm using it for now until I find something better to use. Something else that I'm thinking about, you might use Giratina in this deck. Remove the water energies, put Giratinas in, and there you go. Then you have a pretty strong combo. Yeah. And of course, we'll replace the water energies with the dragon energies. Yeah, so you actually can attack with Giratina. That might be important. Alright, well, that's it for this deck. Thank you for watching. Be sure to follow the channel if you want to. Check the information down below to see... find my Twitch stream where I stream Pokemon TCG and Blood Bowl at the moment every day. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time with another deck. I think the next deck we cover will be... I will try to make it something with breakthrough cards. I will try. Alright, see you around. Bye-bye. Thank you everybody for checking out this video. You can click right here to see the next deck in the series. If you want to see more Pokemon decks and content in general, you can click right here. Don't forget to read the information down below for links to my social medias and my Twitch page, where you can find me streaming the Pokemon TCG almost every weekday. Check it out, and once again, thanks for stopping by. Take care.